Yeah, you go.
Yeah, you go.
There we go, Goofy Geekers. What's up? We have
friends.
Nope, I forgot. Go ahead, say your.
Friends.
I know, I totally cut her off. We have Brian with us today. And it is alive. There we go. So now we can read all our comments.
Oh, perfect.
So, how was your week?
It was good. How's yours?
Doing good. This is Pride Month, so we'll give a shout out to the Pride Month. Yay!
Yay.
You know what I'm very self-conscious of now?
What's that?
My fucking feet. You're in there.
Well, that's the big money. That's the big money right there.
Not for free.
Right?
Yeah, I know. Well, you gotta put socks on.
I have shoes on, so you can't see my toes.
Better not. I pay good money for seeing those. No.
I'll give you my Venmo.
Yeah. Oh, so I just know what my problem is. Someone left after that. They were like, "Yeah, that's enough.
Said no.
That's too much. That's too much."
Shannon.
Thanks, Shannon. Thanks, boss.
Shared.
All right, so we're talking about this today's going to be about dreams, funky dreams.
Yes.
So,
What is your problem?
Is it okay that it's recording on the same track?
yeah,
Okay.
this is what we did last time.
You're recording on one.
I saved it as something else.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Just because it's like an hour and 38.
This also says 32 and we're on like 49 or something like that. So.
Okay, I was just
I know.
making-
Well, that is going to mess me up.
I
The
was
hour, I know the minute's going to mess me up, though.
A minute?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I just looked over to see how long we'd been.
No,
a
it's
minute
been
57, right there. I could see it.
Oh, good. You're in charge of that then. We can't go over a minute and 10.
A minute
That's
10?
Yes.
Oh.
No, an hour and 10.
Well, that's what I meant.
Yeah, I know. It's
Not a
only
minute,
poking
10,
fun. Oh no, that's
Also make
2
sure
minutes.
It's still recording.
No, that's still right. That's 2 minutes. Wow.
It's about the same. I mean,
It's about the same.
Oh,
7 seconds
why
long.
was I tripping?
I don't know. You had you
I
was at
thought
2
that
hours.
said 2 hours and.
I know because when I looked
15
over, you're
seconds.
like 2 hours, and I was like, okay.
Sorry.
I thought you meant like this way.
I
like the episode.
I'm a little cooked.
Well, let me put my
Gross.
surprise face on.
He never shares.
I know.
I try. Nobody wants anything.
Don't waste it on me. Okay, so we're gonna do dreams. All right. Wait a minute. So before we start on other people's dreams, God help me. Do you guys have any dreams? I know God helps me with you because I don't even want to hear.
I can't think of any, but some of these like spark some that like.
I know. So I have this one dream since I've been a kid. I've had this since I was probably 5. I keep having it as an adult, and I don't zero understanding why I have it.
Mm-hmm.
So it starts off. I don't see. This is really going to say how old I am, but at one time they came out with a bunch of cars that had like Snoopy in it, and it would be like cars. It'd be like a
like Hot Wheels.
kind of like that. It was kind of like that. But what happened was it was like some were like farm. Like like
a
tractor or like weed, things that like
Right.
did the thing, and then there were cars, and it was like a whole set. And my parents bought it for me, and I remember playing with it. And I had a dream that I came across a nest where it is all the Snoopy cars that I've owned, and they're all little babies because they're all squeaking. And as I come over and like, why are these real? Mrs. Butterworth comes and starts yelling at me. Why are you people laughing? Wait, this is traumatizing. Comes over.
Does this happen after you eat pancakes for dinner?
I know. And starts screaming and yelling at me that I shouldn't be touching and I need to get away from it. And she is some mad. Like, she's not Mrs. Butterworth nice. She's like...
Right.
But just for the record... back in my day, they used to have commercials where Mrs. Butterworth would come alive and kind of like walk across
I remember
like she would kind of shimmy across the thing and be like, "Oh, you don't have enough Mrs. Butterworth on your waffles." And I remember that. I don't know if that was. Remember, I'm 4. Remember, technology was 100 times different. That was like,
right.
Oh my gosh, that's real. Yeah. Even though. Still to this day, I'll watch Jurassic Park, and I remember being in the movie theater when the first one coming out, going, I believe there's real dinosaurs out there. Like, I believe that because it looks so real. Now I'll watch and go, oh, I can see the CGI. Like I can see it now.
What is it?
Is Brian
He's afraid of Niles is going to grab his leg. He's holding his knees for dear life.
No, because if I do that, you'll hear. I'm never gonna let you live that down.
I feel like I have a lot of dark dreams.
But that's the one that keeps like.
Yeah.
Like I'm 46 and I had it like 3 months ago or something like that.
Do
I don't
you
have.
ever look up your dreams, like the meaning of them.
No,
I don't want to know.
I don't want to know.
Because if it's like
I'm mentally insane.
right, like, I already have
already
my
know I'm
whole
fucked up.
list of mental
Yeah.
illnesses. I don't need to add another.
I don't know. I just think there's things in our lives that gives us maybe I don't want to say trauma, but like something that triggers something.
It can
And
be a symbolism for like something else.
and it just sticks in your life.
Yeah.
Like I remember those were one of my favorite cars. I used to like. I remember having a long period of time where I wouldn't play with anything but those. So I always just figured that was why I think of Mrs. Butterworth. And I remember thinking, oh my, wow! And then we would buy it and be like, when does she move? Like because I was 4 or 5. Like I'd be like, when does she move?
Right.
You know, and it sounds so cheesy, but I always feel like people have cheesy dreams, or they have that, or I have adventure dreams all the time, and I'm always in control, and I'm always at one point every single time in my dream I do this. I ruin it every time. Why am I here? Why am I doing this? Oh, I'm in a dream. Like I automatically know it all the time. Like
So you lucid dream.
yeah, I literally
I
all
wish.
the time. Like.
Tell them about the other. Like you had one a few weeks ago where you were sleeping, but like you felt something watching.
Oh, that's every time. Ooh, okay, so
Sorry.
no. Okay,
We're
so
bringing up some trauma.
no, it's not trauma. Okay, okay. So I went through a period of time where I felt like something was in my room all the time. Like I would wake up and be half asleep and think I see something and like jump out of the bed. I mean, Brian, I'm talking about legitimately scared. Like jumping out of that bed, ready to punch somebody. Like
No,
like
see,
I'm going out.
I would move. Like I would have to like leave or like
No.
sage and like get
Right,
some like
right. But
all of the
but I
energy
haven't.
to go.
There's none of that. Because when I'm awake, there's nothing funky going on. There's never like, the glass moving or like, like anything. So I land up looking this up because I wasn't sleeping. I am not joking. I went through almost 4 weeks of like not sleeping. Like it really, I'm talking about sleeping in the way is like you wake up
Right.
and then you get that adrenaline and you're not going back to sleep.
Yeah.
And I landed up looking online about dreams. And I found a thing where humans make, when we see something in the dark, we make faces and we make things. And the reason why they think it is, this is me reading the article, is that we're animals. So when you walk down a path, the object of you seeing something is to make you scared, to make you run, to make you live, because that's what animals do. Like a rabbit, when they hear a noise, they run. Like they don't.
Right. It's like the initiating the fight or flight.
Right.
response.
That's what happens. And so then I read on, and it talked about it. Now, I don't want this to come out wrong, but they say in like Asia, they tell story to children about a monster who basically sits on your chest, and then when it sits on your chest, you can't move, but you're awake, but you can't move.
It's like sleep paralysis.
Exactly, that's what it is.
Goodbye.
No, it is, right? But they tell the story, and they're
Right.
supposed to suck your soul and blah, 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 and like the storyline. And I'm like, okay, that's never happened to me before. So I know what you're going to... This is the story. So a couple months ago, I was laying in bed, and I had totally got over all of it because I realized that I'm only seeing it because my mind makes me see it, and I slept like a baby.
You fully convinced yourself
that
there's
it was nothing there, right?
Okay.
So I was good. And I was
You let your
laying...
guard down once.
I know. Like I did. I'm not joking. Now, I haven't had a problem since then. I haven't had this problem, but I'll tell you the scariest thing that I can sit here and I will be honest with you. If I had $1 billion, I would give you $1 billion saying, I bet you, because that's how it felt so real for me. I was laying in bed and I was facing away from my door, if you will. Okay. And as I'm laying down, I feel, and all I can do is kind of show you is 1, 2, 3, 4 in my bed. Like I felt the pressure of 4 things go down on my bed. I said right then, I go like this.
No.
I went like this. Okay, we're turning and punching. We're going. We're doing.
We're ready to fight.
Like we're going. Like this
We're
is like man dies
And
because he falls off a bed, right? Like
Wait, do you have pets?
no, I don't anymore.
Animals, no
I
animals.
used to. Like this is the hard thing.
Right,
That's
there's no animals.
there's
Okay,
nothing.
listen,
So I am.
we're just
This is me and the demon by itself. Whatever is going on, this is me. And
Between you and God now.
right. And I say, and I remember I'm looking at the clock. I can tell you what time it was. I'm being legit. I am totally awake, or at least I feel like I am. 1, 2, 3. I can't move. I can't move.
No.
I can't move, and I'm going, oh my god. No, and you're smiling, but I'm at that moment I was not. I'm like, oh my gosh, and then I went, oh, I'm having.
I'm having sleep paralysis.
Exactly. I'm seriously exactly what I said. Close my eyes, because this is what I said. If there's something in the room and it's going to hurt me, it's going to hurt me. Like this. At this moment, I can't move. So what am I going to do?
No.
Close my eyes, fall asleep, wake up 15 minutes later, and I'm telling you, 15 minutes on the clock. Wake up, look up, still in the same position, still looking at the clock, and my toe and my foot goes like this. Like I move, and then I move my leg, and I'm going, I can move, and I roll over, and I slowly get out of bed. I turn the light, and I look around, and there was Jesse in the corner going, "Hi." no, and there was nothing, and I went, that has to be the scariest thing I've ever lived through. And if I had never read that article, I'm telling you right now, would have gave you $1 billion saying something with 4 legs or 4,
Right.
crawled on my bed. I swear to you, I am not joking. I am not trying to make the story bad. It was an experience that I read and went, oh, this never happened to me before. Oh, that part, because I read the whole article about different sleep things, and I was like, no, that's not me. That's not me. You know how they say if you die or if you're aware, or so, like I'm read, and I'm like, oh, okay, and I'm like, okay, so it's basically all in my mind. Oh, good. And then when it happened, the sleep, I was just like, what?
Were you,
Go ahead.
Are you sure?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because, what did you just go back to sleep after that? Because I would have had to check the whole house 8 times over before I went back to bed. Because I would have never
left bed.
either that, or I would have had to call the police department to be like, you need to come check my house right now.
It's so funny because I always thought all right, my demons when I was in my 20s, to be honest with everybody, which is probably putting me out there way more, is I drank a lot because I owned a house at 22 and I lived alone. So my attitude was I drank as much as I could, so I just go home and pass out. So I didn't have to deal with feeling alone. That's how I dealt with it. So being now 46 and have to being alone, and I don't drink at all anymore, is that the attitude was, whatever's happening is happening. I have control or I have no control. Whatever's happening has to happen. So my attitude was I need to get out of bed. I need to walk around the bed. And I know everyone says in a horror movie, every horror movie, someone goes, don't walk down there. And I'd be like, why wouldn't you walk down there? You would have no clue there'd be a monster downstairs. You would, I'm not the first one to say go to your basement and walk around, but I'm not the one,
Right.
I always feel like someone says, oh, don't go upstairs and check on the kids. Wait a minute, why wouldn't you go upstairs and check on them? Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you think, well, the monster's up there? Well, I'm glad you know that, but we don't know that as you're living there.
Right,
so a lot of times I find myself doing the things that you go, yep. And I always, it was funny because there was a point with my buddy who just passed away. I talk about Ryan all the time. But we used to laugh, and he'd always, you're the first one dead. And I always say, yeah, I am, because I'm the one who just says, A, I'm going to look, and then B, I'm going down fighting. I'm not the last guy running around my head, unless it fell that way. But most of the time, I'm the one who's you hear a noise at your door, I go outside. like there was one time in the middle of the night, we had all police there at the house, and there was a guy who eluded the police for some reason and pulled into my parents' driveway and was in my parents' yard, and they were on vacation, and I had all these police. And I remember at the time, my girlfriend at the time said, "Don't go out there." And I'm like, "I have to. It's my parents' house. Like, it is what it is." And I'm following the police down, like, you know what? Like, this is my parents' yard, you know, like, and then there's this guy hiding behind something.
Wow.
Like, you know, behind some shrubs and stuff. Like, it's just like, I don't know. As a young adult, I see your point. But as I got older, like, you don't call the police for that. Like, you're going to get laughed at. Like, you just kind of have to, what is this? What am I looking at? What's going on? And it's scary. And they're like, well, how do you deal with being scared? You got to do it. Because it's the flight or fight attitude. Yeah. Because if he is or she is in your house and you're literally just sitting in your bed, not doing anything, you don't think that person's going to come in and kill you, like, or do something. Like, they're going to. So it's A, do something now, or B, you're going to just
like face the consequences.
Right, later. You're going to deal with it. So it doesn't matter when you're going to deal with it. It's coming. So it's just like, all right. But when I couldn't move, it made me kind of go. And I'm one of those people that I was taught by a really old man when I would ride. He goes, when you get the scaredest, think of what you should do. And it always kind of goes, you take a deep breath. So when I get scared, I do this. And I think, and I get like logical. And I'm going, what's going on here? And that usually helps me, like that day. I'll just go back to sleep. If there's something, let's say there was a tiger in my room because I didn't know what else to say.
Right.
If it was going to bite you, it was going to bite you, or it's going to lay on your legs. And then you would know something would be there. Yeah. And since it never touched me, like, it was nothing.
You, like, only felt the presence on the bed.
Right. It's like I can sit here and say it logically, but at that moment I was scared and I said, okay, I can't move. So what are you going to do? Take a deep breath, go back to sleep, and hopefully it does something in your sleep so you don't feel it. Like, you know, like, it's stupid, but that's the way I kind of like looked at it. And it was scary, but then I got over my fears over that really fast.
My friend had something similar happen. So she has, I think there's 5 of them, but one of them doesn't live in the house anymore.
Okay.
And her mom just went on vacation, and so she was home alone with the remaining siblings.
Mm-hmm.
And her room, I believe it's still in the basement, but it's like level with the ground.
Right.
Like there's still like a little bit of window.
Right.
So she said she went to bed and she had a dream where she like looked over to the window and she saw somebody. And then she was like, got like nervous or whatever, but she like went back to bed or whatever. Right. And then she woke up and she told her sister about it, and she's like, don't say that. And she was like, why? And she was like, because there were just a bunch of teenagers walking down the street. And she was like, what? So, like, your body, like, can tell if somebody's looking at you, too.
True, yeah.
So, like, she saw them, like...
Right. She's through a window.
And then she was like, I should have called the police, but I didn't.
Right.
We're all just going to sleep upstairs now. And then it happened the next night where, like, she slept upstairs, but they saw the teenagers go. Yeah. And so she called the cops just to, like...
Right.
Make sure that they don't come to the house again.
Right.
And they didn't do anything about it.
Yeah.
They just like sent a trooper, and it's like.
Well, it's hard.
You can't really do anything.
I know. But... So weird. It's so weird because when you're those high school kids, you're like, we're just walking. We're just, you know, and then. Then you're thinking the other way when it's the other way. Like, that's how I look at it. Like, some of that stuff for me, for dreams, you know, I'm my own worst enemy, because if I get something stuck in my head and I go to sleep, I can do that half sleep, half wake, where you can almost put your money down that something's there, and then I can't tell you how many times I've jumped out of my bed being so like I mean,
gung-ho,
like gung-ho of
right.
like it's something there. Because I went through a period before I read that I felt like someone was standing over my bed because it was a shadow all the time. And then when I finally figured it out, it was actually from some like certain things that made a shadow of a dark area. It's all it was a dark. It wasn't really a shadow. It was just a dark area, and I was convinced my mind had like a body shape to it, and like I can literally stay there now, and I'll roll over and I'll look at it and be like, "Hi, shadow," like, and I'll just fall asleep because I get it now.
You're aware.
I'm aware of it, and that's why I think of beating those type of dreams is about being aware of what's going on. Like, like.
Well, it's funny that you said like your mind makes shapes, like body shapes or whatever.
It's called something. I can't remember the name offhand.
Whatever it is. But like this isn't a dream, but this happened like a couple of weeks ago. I was at the salon and my friend just colored her hair, and I went to go grab product, which the other side of the salon is like where I grab it because I just really don't feel like having product next to my station.
Right.
So I walked down and the lights were off or whatever, and I like got spooked because I thought I saw something, and I said to my friend, I'm like, do you ever just like look at something and like think that you see a person, but obviously it's not? She's like, yeah. I'm like, that just happened to me. Like I thought there was a guy over there, and then
she's like, there was.
There was.
It was Brian.
And then so like I finished with her hair, and she's my last one, so I was like, hey, do you mind staying? I just don't like being here at night. It's 9:30.
Right, well, yeah.
Like I just don't like being alone at night. And she's like, yeah, no problem. So I went into the waiting room to like start putting in the computer and like start cleaning up or whatever. And so I had the radio on, and then I walked past our facialist room, and I thought I heard music in there, so I popped my head in there and I heard music, and I was like, well, that's weird, because like, Darby hasn't been here in a week, and like, nobody knows how to use her speaker. So I was like, well, maybe it's just like an echo or whatever.
Yeah.
And I just talked to my friend how she's like, oh yeah, my house is haunted. Like the balls were just moving.
That doesn't help you. That doesn't help you. That just puts crap in your head.
Right.
You're just like adding.
Well, you ever know that thing where they're like, that's actually something that they talk about a lot, like the stuff in the mirror, and like if you look in the mirror and all of a sudden you think you see something, it's because something like moved and you swear to God something moved, and then you look and there's nothing there. Nothing could be there. Nothing. It's your mind and your. It's supposed to be our mind logically trying to make something out of nothing.
Right.
Which like it's nothing, but we are like. We see a blur in our eyes, so our brain says it must be A.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So when you see something in the mirror, I used to love this because it was in Doctor Who where he traps somebody in a mirror, and he says, if you see something out of your corner of your eye and you go to look and it's not there, but you swear you saw something, that's my sister. Like, you know, trapped in a mirror, and I was like, what happens to other people too? It's weird. It's like I always like it's
normal.
That I know. I don't know if this is weird or my generation. I feel like certain things we never talked about, like, and then all of a sudden something like Family Guy has to be the typical of like, oh, you mean other people do that?
Yeah.
Like when what's his name like pushed too hard, he saw that little squiggly line, and I was like, hey, other people have that too? Like, you know, when they strain, they see squiggly lines when they do that. Like, you know, and then, because you don't sit there and be like, hey, you ever see squiggly? Like, no one talks about that. Like, you know, and I always feel like dreams for me is one of those things where, or things that we make up in our heads because we tried to make something logical. Because we tried to, like that, you saw a shadow, you saw something. The other thing I did learn too, speaking of music, is I would lay in bed and in complete silence, I would hear music. But you know what it was?
Your brain makes...
Because your brain makes you... Your brain doesn't want silence.
Right.
So it starts hearing stuff, and then logically...
Right. At least I hear that.
Yeah, like, you know, all these things that are... Like, I started to kind of do because I never believed in. Because somehow I got hooked on something, like not sleeping, like, you know, like this fear or whatever, and I couldn't get out of it. And I have my ups and downs. Like, I'll go through a period where I'm fighting to deal with stuff. And then there's sometimes I'm like, okay, you know, it's like, I feel like I'm always battling something in my house. Like, there's always something I'm, like, trying to... like, is this real? Is this not real? Okay, this is real. Mm-hmm. Okay, then all of a sudden the next day it's like, okay, wait a minute. This isn't real. Okay. Then all of a sudden, like, I'll go a couple of days being fine. All of a sudden I'll be like, okay, why are we back here again? Like, I don't know. It's funny and it's not funny. Like, you know what I mean? Because I'm sure if, with you guys watching me, it'd be really funny. But when it's you, it's really kind of scary. It is petrifying to some degree. Yeah. But you kind of find a way. And it's always like a little kid. It's always like, I had a bad dream. Oh, I'm sure it was bad, honey. You know, let's go back to sleep. You know, you just think to yourself, like, yeah, that's what you do. You got to kind of just push the room.
I asked Brian this already, but do you ever have dreams where, like, the volume is so loud that when you wake up, it's, like, dead silent and you're just, like, you know, like, you get that ringing in your ears and stuff?
Yeah, I've had that. I've had that. I've had, this is the best about me, and I get so mad. Speaking about being elusive in my dream, I've never gone all the way in my dream. I've had sexy dreams where you go in, all right, and then I literally stop. Like, it, like,
I was like,
rewind. It's like,
are we going?
Literally, like, it's rewind. We're back to the beginning, and I'm like, whoa, why are we back here again?
Beginning.
Yeah, literally.
Mine is like
yeah, it's like I never. Like, I can heavy pet. There's whatever, and there's sometimes I'm like, I wake up and go, why did I even dream that? Ugh. Like, it's always like, and it's never someone
it's the true fantasy within.
It's never I want to be with, never what I want to, never like this, you know, like the people you expect me to dream about. Like, those are the worst for me. Or I have that, I'm fighting for my life. That's always seems to be the big thing. I'm fighting for my life. And then at one point I wake up and go, yeah, this is a dream. Like, I just have a moment where I'm going, what am I doing?
No, I wake up in a sweat. I'm like, what is going on?
I've had when it's too loud. I've been pushed off of something. Mm-hmm. I've been. Do you remember those?
I had a dream where.
I had a dream.
It was supposed to be like my parents' like living room, but like old. It was like when I was younger, so I pictured like that.
The green rug.
Yes.
I know. Don't forget, I helped your dad rip up the rug.
So there were like bears outside, like a family of bears.
Right.
And
that's kind of cute, though.
Yeah. Well,
go on, pet them.
They opened up the slider door,
right?
And they like came in, and I actually they killed. Like, I was sitting on the couch, and I saw one like attack me. I died. I moved on to the next person in the family. Like I died 4 times in that freaking dream.
Oh,
are you kidding?
I moved on. No, I
because usually when you die, you're supposed to die. That's what they say, but that never happens anyway.
No, like they killed me.
They say if you read it,
like,
right.
Yeah, so I just
they say
a different point of view.
They say when you die in your dream, you're supposed to really die in real life.
Maybe I died. I don't know.
No, you're here, so you're not dead. You're not dead.
Damn it.
Damn bears. No, do you remember those there's an old movie. It's an old movie again, but it wasn't old for me. Remember those troll things? Those like big furry things with the face? I had a dream one time that like I was in a castle being chased by them, and they actually formed one big one, and they were coming after me, and I got right to the gate and I said, I'm tired, enough. And they just looked at me. I'm like, I'm done. I'm done with this game. I'm in a dream because no way I'm in the castle. There's no way. I just saw this movie and I walked away and I woke and like I literally woke up and rolled over and it was like, really? That was my dream? And I remember him. I don't know why. That's the other thing. I'm always 9 out of 10 times to remember them. It's usually the ones I don't want to remember is the ones I remember. The ones that probably I was like, oh yeah, I don't remember.
I'm petrified of ostriches because I had a dream that I was like little and I was being chased by one, and then they got me and I woke
So
up.
you're really scared of so you're scared of something you've never dealt with?
No. Yes.
No.
Never dealt with them. Yes, I'm petrified.
Yeah,
it's like the sharks in the pool thing. Like,
yeah, I know. I saw a video of that. And I thought of you because it was a girl like, "Oh, let me jump in the pool," and there was a shark, and it ate it because it was swimming underwater. I was going,
"Why are you saying this right now?"
But I'm like thinking to myself, sharks can't swim in chlorine.
No, I know.
like there's the odds of a shark in water. Like, see, I'm too logical of things. Like, I have my own fears.
Right.
Like, I fear that I'm going to jump in the pool, hit my head, I'm going to get knocked out, and I'm going to drown because no one's going to notice me. Like, those are my fears. Right. Like, or I'm going to swim underwater because I can't swim above water. Like, I don't know how. I can swim underwater. I know this is very weird. Everyone says, how does that work? I can swim from one to the other if I can hold my breath long enough, but I can't swim on top. But I never, like, I'll do it in a small pool. Like, you know, I'll swim from one side to another, and like your parents' pool, I'll do that the whole time, but I'll never do it in a deep end of a pool because I always think of what happens if I run out of breath and I can't stand up and I'm in trouble.
You know, whenever I jump,
like, those are my fears.
I always have a feeling like when I jump into a pool, even if there wasn't even like those big floaties around, I put my hand up because I feel like I'm gonna drown because I can't. Like a floaty would keep me down.
A floaty.
Mm-hmm. You know,
the thing that actually helps things that float.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like the. This is a scary term.
She finally got it.
Did you know we're both looking at it, but they're like, listen, Brian's not even that high. We're both like, She's like, the floaty, the thing that helps you float. Yeah, that's going to keep me underwater. Okay. No, I don't. I don't know. I know we're talking about fears now. Geez, how do we get into this when we're talking about dreams? But I always tried to be logical about stuff. I don't know what it is. I think I fight with myself over this because when I see things that are, I guess you would say, supernatural or something that you can't explain, I'm one of those guys that's like, there's got to be something, man. Because I used to have this door, well, I still have it in my house that used to open all the time. It doesn't anymore because I have a certain lock on it, but open all the time. And I used to laugh because there was a man who died in my house. So I used to laugh and I used to buy a pack of cigarettes.
He was playing on your bed.
No, because I used to buy, I literally would buy a pack of, when I first moved there, I used to buy a pack of cigarettes and I'd be like, oh, it's for you, Fred. It's for you, Fred. Because I knew he smoked all the time. And I would buy a cigarette and it would sit there. Never open up, never move, never something. But I would throw it away at the end of the month and buy another one. And the door would open.
Why?
Why?
Because when I was your age, that's what I used an excuse why the door would open. Oh. Now, as like me being me, with the lock that I have on it, it was because the door just opens that way. Like, it's naturally made to open that way. Like, if you don't shut it all the way, it will open. But when I was young and impatient and just thinking I shut the door right, and then I come home and the door would be wide open, that was the way to excuse it instead of like, oh, well, couldn't be because I didn't close it right because, you know, I'm 20 and I know how to close a door. Right. But it was really me rushing through the house to do all the things I wanted to do before I went out. I don't know. So these dreams from all different people. I can't wait to hear these.
Yes. There's one that I want to really share.
Okay. Well, let's do that one first because it always seems like it's never.
It's very short and it's hilarious. I had a dream that I wanted to play a CD, but when I opened up the case, it was a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
That is a good dream. That is a good dream.
Like, inside the case was a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? Or the case itself was a peanut butter and jelly?
No, he opened up the case.
It was a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Now, I'm going to say something, and I don't know, I'm just going to tell you, but in my drinking days, that'd be a blessing. Because I'd be at the middle of the night, I'd be like, someone made me a sandwich!
I never say no to peanut butter and jelly.
I know.
Drinking or sober, if I were to open something and it would just be a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, I'd be happy.
Right.
No, let's make this real clear. If you've been smoking all night, that peanut butter jelly is like...
It's like that no matter what.
It'd be like, it'd be opening it up, it'd be like light be coming out of it, like Jesus would be like, oh, and you'd be like, I love you, sandwich.
No, literally.
All right.
You laugh, but I know many people that have...
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
My first wet dream
Never had one. I've never had one.
I'm sorry.
You got close, but not.
No, I know I don't get it. I never get that far. I really don't. It's very frustrating. Because even me as a 47, I'm like, I can't even get lucky in my own dreams. What the hell?
Have you?
Yeah. Oh, I've had a good number of wet dreams, babe.
Oh, man, I'm broken. Damn, that's what you get for being straight.
Have you?
Well, no, can she have? Yeah, I guess you can have one.
Yes.
Yes, women can
Yeah, I know,
have
but
one.
when you say wet dream, it sounds like you've...
Yeah.
You
know.
could wake up a little damp.
Yeah,
from a
no,
good
I get
dream.
that. I get that. I know. That was me being sexist. I apologize.
Rude.
I'm sorry.
The
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I take back all the gayness.
Just a divergent. The way that the fire trucks and large vehicles
I know.
fly down this road.
I know.
Did you put your mirror in?
Yeah, I had to. I was scared.
Your whole side of your car's gone, but the mirror's in.
Perfect. All right. I was an Olympic gymnast doing a routine with a girl who lived upstairs. And when we cartwheeled past each other, we crashed our nether regions together. And our leotards ripped open, and my penis went into her. Her lower half then transformed into the bottom half of Ursula from The Little Mermaid. Held me down, choked
That's actually
me.
what she sounded like, too. Sorry. I couldn't let that pass. Go ahead. Sorry.
No.
Sorry, Brian.
Held me down, choked me, and a tentacle raped every orifice except for my ears while jerking me off. I woke up from the dream right as I started to black out in it, and I thought I had wet the bed until I touched the stuff. I couldn't talk to her again after that.
I hate to say this. I think I would talk to her because I think I want to see if that happened.
Guess what happened? Guess my dream. You'll never believe.
That is just so out there.
Yeah.
Could
Well, that's
you
usually what happens.
imagine? I would be so, like, distraught.
I just want to know, does she sing that song that she sings? Or so
Like,
if she doesn't sing the song, it wasn't complete.
I want to know what, like,
And
this
if you're
person's
willing,
life
wait a
is
minute, I have a
like.
question for you. Since it ended with the wet part, like like he got set, is it really considered raping all his
Well, some people are into that. So.
Yeah, so but he finished, so it's not rape if you know.
No, let's not have this.
That is like a whole.
We just lost everybody.
People can comment on them, and so one of them said, "At least it was just the bottom half," and then another person said, "Something hentai joke."
Oh, wait a minute. So it was the bottom part of Ursula, not the
so
top
just
part
like
of
the
her.
tentacle.
So it
Oh,
was
okay.
just- it
I
was
thought it
the-
was actually like
It
in
was
my
a
head.
girl, and she just has.
Yeah.
the
Like the
legs.
octopus parts.
Yes,
Yeah, I
the
got you.
octopus, you know.
The
Octopuses. I don't know. I don't know. Like mine always seems to be that like voodoo person, like that person. I probably be like, why you? Why are you here?
Yeah.
You're like the last person. I think that's the trick my mind does. Is like, you want A, here's Z, and it's like, oh
He's not
really?
even part of the album.
Yeah, like here you go, and my mind just go. I'm always like, this is real. You're really doing this to me. Like this is what I get. Fine, all right. Come here, 80-year-old lady. Come on, let's get. Just kidding, Brian. Oh my God. Shut up. I heard some of your stories. Don't even talk about it. I don't want to hear about me judging me.
I was in some random city in a restaurant when a penguin barged in and was eating off people's plates. The manager rushed over to kill the penguin, and I stepped in the way and was like, "Hey, chill out. I got this." Dropped some money on the table to pay for the food. I proceeded to follow the penguin around until we sat down and ate sushi. I hate sushi.
Do you really?
No, that's
No,
Oh.
that's it.
Oh, I was like, with the way you looked at me, like I hate sushi. I was like, I thought you used to make sushi. That sounds like a pretty okay one for me because that sounds like something I would do. Be like, don't kill him. Here's the money.
Like, let me just.
But my luck, it'd be like I go in my pocket and I'd be like, oh, I'm broke. Kill the penguin. And then we sit down and have sushi of the penguin. I'd be like,
This penguin sushi. Ew. No way.
but he was pretty legit. He was pretty cool in his dream, though. I mean, he does really hook up the penguin. The penguin doesn't do anything for him. I hope there's a little after hour or something after that. We just paid for dinner for the damn thing.
We're getting a little too deep into the penguin.
Hey, yo!
Just for the record.
Oh, no.
That's for the record. That is literally his motto.
That was a setup.
I once dreamt that I was happy. Details are irrelevant because oh my god, because this was strange enough.
That you were happy? That's actually really sad. That
Hashtag relate.
Right.
Hashtag relate.
I'm trying to think if I guess I've had dreams that things are going good for me, and then unfortunately, you know what happens is when things go too good, and then I become aware. That's my problem all the time. I become aware, and then it kind of kills it because I'm just like, oh, this is a dream, isn't it? Like, it's just like the day doesn't go this good for me ever. Like, you know.
Yoda was confronting his final enemy, a lion with a cowbell around his neck that could also talk. They met in a square cave entrance, standing on the wall of a sideways blocky island in an empty void, with the inside of the cave being infinitely big. But if you look around the place, this piece of land, you would just see void. They met, and this is what they said. Yoda, hello. Lion, hello. Yoda, peanuts. With much expression, Lion. Can we get an idea of how many peanuts? Narrows eyes. Yoda, 7. Oh, why did I say that? He then face palms and shakes his head with the idiocy for in the end, this all means that the lion won.
Best dream ever. Just to the fact that the cowbell is talking to Yoda, I'm actually disappointed because I literally want to say more cowbell. Like, I'm being serious. Like, that's one of those dreams where, like, you're having a good dream and then it makes zero sense and you wake up and all you want to do is go back and be like, is there more? Like, that's a dream I want to go back. Like, I'd be like, okay, I need to go back to sleep. You know, like, and then they're like, no, shut up. I need to keep that in my head. I need to go sleep. Because I don't know. Like, I'm one of those guys there had to be more. Like Yoda rides the lion away or something with the cowbell going, oh yeah. No.
No way.
Me and a few friends of mine were in my basement. For whatever reason, we had an enormous tub of weed. I mean, like one of those plastic storage boxes.
Brian just had a wet one.
Why are we sharing my stories off of Reddit? Like, that's not even a dream. That's IRL.
You wish.
You wish you had a Tupperware full of it. We wouldn't see you ever again.
A solid 5 to 10 pounds of the shit. Anyway, we were trying to position this box so that we could access it without being immediately noticeable to someone coming down the stairs. In the middle of this endeavor, my friend says he needs to use the bathroom. After explaining where the bathroom was, he goes upstairs, and me and my remaining friends start smoking. So after a while, I realized that my friend never came back from the bathroom. I walk upstairs to the hall, and he's standing in front of my mother's room. Door open, and was just standing there. Me. Dude, what the fuck are you doing? She's gonna wake up. Him. Looks at me in the back of the room, starts singing and tapping his mouth loudly. I just went downstairs to get my friends to help me control my now apparent Native American friend. But by the time I get back upstairs, he's standing in the front of her room, holding her tub of weed, waving it around the air and screaming. She wasn't home. He thought it would be funny. He would almost definitely do something similar in real life.
That was just like...
Wow.
What are you doing?
You know what? I feel like we all have that one friend in high school. That one friend that you just want to punch in the back of the head and be like, what are you doing? Stop it. That's stupid. No one does this. Like, what are you doing? And it's like, no, I got this. No, you don't. You don't have this. Gosh. I have had a dream also. Actually, I was trying to think of. I had a dream where I was riding, but I know. No, I do have one dream. I remember that's really. It's another occurring dream. I wake up in high school, so I'm in Portsmouth High School, which the three of us went. Which I think it looks a little different when you guys went than I went, because we didn't have the built-in. Were you there when it was before it was built?
No, I graduated.
No. I mean, like
GC.
because it was expanded.
Right.
Right. You were born. You were after. I was before it. So but I'm in my dream, not like so. The school looks like the way it is now. I wake up. I'm me, but when I look in the mirror, I'm 15-year-old me, if you will.
Right.
It's like 17 again.
Yeah. Well, the problem is, I go into school. I don't like it's my school, but it's not my school. So there's wings that I don't know, and I'm getting yelled at to go into my classes, and I'm like, yeah, like 2 minutes ago I was a 40-some-odd-year-old adult. Now you tell me to go to class, and I guess you would say, and I hate using this word, I get anxiety, I get wicked nervous, I get really scared because I have no clue where I'm going and I'm getting in so much trouble. And then I end up going to a class that I recognize. I go, and I sit down and it's the wrong class. And they're like, oh, what day are you on? And I'm like,
hey.
Like I'm just like, yeah. And it's like, I'm on this roller coaster of trying to function as a high school kid, but being me and thinking like I can't. I don't know. Like I've thought in my head a lot that how trained we are when you go, like when you're in elementary, you're used to your classroom, and then what you go for lunch and what you do, and then you get to middle school, and then you learn how to go around, like the one room, and then you go for lunch and what you do then, and then by the time you get to high school, you're trained, like you're just used to the next step. But being an adult and spending 20 some odd years out of school and then being thrown back into school, like even the simplest things were like I don't know where I'm going, like what am I doing? They're like, what day is it, what's your schedule? And I'm like, and they're yelling at me because I'm not a day 1 of school, I'm a day 40 of school or whatever, and everyone else knows where they're going, and I'm just like lost. I just woke up. I feel like that kid when those dreams where they say like, oh, do you ever wake up and you're naked or your teeth fall, like certain things. Yeah. Like I always feel like that's mine, but it's more of me not knowing where I'm going. Like I'm always lost. Like I can't, and I think I always take it as like I can never go back. I can never go back in time. Like I can never, like it's because I always feel like as much as I enjoyed and loved high school, like the social part, I can never go back and like.
I think if you look up like what that dream meant,
right.
Because it's the idea of not being able to get to where you're supposed to be.
Right.
That's like your new beginning. Like You're starting something new.
Right. So. It's really, and I'm always so frustrated because I'm always talking like an adult. Because see, I don't know if this has happened to you yet, but when the older you get, it's hard to kind of go back. Where if you get, say, when we're in high school, we're talked down to because we're children, if you will, and then you turn 18, and then you fight till you're about 25-ish. Now sometimes it's a little bit younger, sometimes it's a little bit older, where it's like I'm not an effing kid anymore. Like I've I'm paid my dues, I've started off at the bottom, I've washed plates or whatever, what have you, and I've now 5 years, 6 years out of school, 7 years out of school. Sometimes it takes up to 10, depends what you're like, where you work and stuff like that, and be like, I deserve respect. And all of a sudden then that day happens when you meet someone younger than you, and then it becomes Mr. or Mrs. or Miss, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah, that's my dad, that's not me. But you're asking for that respect, but you're not really, it feels weird when it comes to you finally.
Right. Yeah.
And then what happens is you get thrown back into time. Now you having people talk down to you, and you're like, I'm 46-year-old man. You don't talk to me like I'm an idiot. Like I know what I'm doing, but not that they talk to our kids like they're idiots, but you do. I don't know how to explain it.
Sometimes
but like they do that whole I know best. Yeah. You're the student, I'm the adult, and it's like, and I'm an adult now, and that's a lot and it's very like, and I wake up all the time going, no, never want to go back to school. Like I never want to deal with that. I can't deal with it because
if you were to put me into school right now, I would be so like out of spot.
Yeah. Yeah, you would be, because you're just...
I asked the kids... So, prom was last night for
Portsmouth, yeah.
So, a kid came in today to get his haircut, and it was during the day, and he went to prom last night.
Right.
But he's only a junior. So I was like, oh, you playing hooky today? And he goes, what? I'm like... What do you mean what? He's like, what does that mean? I'm like...
Like, are you playing hooky, babe?
School.
Did you not go to where you're supposed to go? And there's a building called school.
Like, how the fuck do you not know what playing hooky means?
Hey, you know what? I'm telling you, this should be a podcast. Because there are things that we talked about in the 90s. Like, there's certain phrases that we say that... Your generation are like, what are you guys saying? Like, okay, I'm going to use, and just because this is Gay Pride Month, and I'm being dead serious. When I was a kid in the late 80s and mid 90s, because I'm basically from 86 to 94 is when I was middle school to high school. We used to say, oh, that's so gay. Now, that didn't mean... Yeah, but I didn't... It never in a million years. Now, I remember being taught gay meant happy. Mm-hmm. Now, I found out a little bit at a certain age what gay meant of being homosexual or, like, as we say, gay. You know what I'm saying? But when I remember being with our friends, we go, oh, that's so gay. Never in a moment thinking... It was harassing a gay person. It was like, it was stupid.
Yeah. Just
like it used to be happy. Mm-hmm. And I used to think all the time, like when we do, like, oh, I remember this big movement, don't use gay. It's, you're insulting me. And I was going, well, it was happy before. And then we made it stupid. And then you made it like you guys. But it never really you guys, because I always thought it was, lesbians or, like homosexuals, like, like you just go through the whole different, because that's what we use for that. But things change. And I always think, like, I always like to hear, like, 70s when they used to say, like, groovy, and they would be like, they'd be like, and they would say things but we laugh and we say groovy, but they would say groovy in a particular way. That meant groovy didn't mean it that. Like, for instance, my era time, I'm going to use another one, would be like bad. Oh, that's so bad. Not that it was bad. It was that it was good. Yeah. And then now you guys, and this is the best, it happens to every one of us. Then you guys get to a point where you go, what? And then to us, and then you're like, we have our own words. Now that you're getting a little bit older, it hurts. It hurts, because then it's like,
you're not that much younger than me.
You know what the worst part is? Yeah.
What word just came out of your mouth?
Yeah, you're not much. You know what the worst thing for me is? The spelling. The
text.
The LOL type of things, because like it can't, because I got like the basics, and then someone goes blah blah blah, AK, I don't go.
I still struggle.
Like they're like this long on the. I'm like, then I have to go through. I'm like going, rolling. Okay, rolling, raw. Okay, I'm going with rolling for the first one. Second one is, like, I feel like I'm playing Jeopardy, or, no, I feel like I'm playing Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, Wheel of Fortune. I'm going, oh, God. And then they get longer.
Yeah.
Like, they're not getting shorter.
You used one today, and you're freaking thing. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? I'm like, because you added, like, an extra letter at the end.
Oh, GTFOH.
Like, yes! I'm like, I don't know what that means, but I think I know what it is.
Yeah, you just spend, like, an extra minute, you're like,
just fucking spell it out.
I'm sure there's a swear in there. I'm sure. We'll just make that. We're just gonna make that. We want one of those, so we're gonna make that. We'll make the HL. We're gonna be like, the F is automatic F, and then someone's like, no, that meant far, and you went, nope, that was the F word for me.
That was the F word.
F is always the F word.
No, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's always this crazy thing, and I'm always like, I finally get A, and now there's like C, and then the rest of you guys, I'll ask. The worst is when you ask somebody.
Yeah.
Because then it's like, or
I always look it up.
Me too. I'm like, Google, and they're like, we don't know what it means either. And I'm
like, Google's like, good luck.
Yeah.
Good. Let us
Google's
know.
like,
Let us know.
Yeah, we can't keep up with this. We're still working on KFC. We just found out it was Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Kentucky Fried Chicken. Yeah, because that's expensive there. I want to complain about KFC. It's like I got to put a mortgage out for KFC just for the record. Last time I went, it was like 30 some odd bucks for like one piece of chicken winking at me.
Oh my God, no way.
Because my day it used to be like 20 bucks for a whole bucket. Now it's like 28 bucks for like the bucket, which is not even like the full bucket. And I'm like, fuck it. Oh no, no, I don't know. I have a real problem with those things, but this happens, and I always want to get that 3 generation thing where it's like you go through stuff because that's when you feel really old when you go, oh, I remember this. I always love that thing is with the songs too, because like I can't every one of them. It's like, oh, are you old enough to know these songs? I'm like, I know I'm going to know. And it's like every song, I'm like, how do I know every single one of these? And then I'll go, but I bet you if they play something now, I'll be like, nope, don't know any of these songs.
I feel that.
I was like, I don't know any of these songs. Like, I feel old. And the worst thing is when it comes back. Because when I was a kid, the big thing was rolling up your pants, and girls used to put like safety pins in their pants to keep them like a tight roll, and you used to have to wear like kind of thicker socks to kind of go right to the roll, and girls used to wear tree tone cheerleading shoes, like well at least in Portsmouth they did, and it'd be like this. Yeah, I know.
Tree tone.
Yeah, isn't it tree tones? I think what they're called. There's a type of sneakers that used to have like a swoosh right here, like where like a nook, like Nike would be, but they would come in different colors, so they would all wear them. And then you had to buy all of them because they would match your outfit.
Goodbye.
Yeah, and I was also the first generation to wear jelly shoes, which girls like feet were like bleeding. They're like, "You like my shoes?" I'm like, because their toe would be like,
the shoes are fine. You gotta go.
Yeah, the toe would be out here somewhere, blood. It'd be like, you'd be like, yeah, because they were not made to really walk. They're like, I remember I was also swatches. Remember swatches? No, where it was a watch, and then you would put different covers on of it.
Oh,
and then
yes.
And then what happened was the girls would say, "Can I wear your swatch for the day?" And then you'd say, "Oh yeah, I can't believe what's your name wants to wear my swatch." And then the end of the day they would have like they'd be like yeah, no, I remember those too, but those were like right at the end of my middle school years.
I liked them because I always smack other people with them. Like,
yeah.
And I remember being like, but those are things I can remember that I can sit back and go, okay. Like I remember, I do remember this. Oh, I remember the big thing was ripped jeans, and it was like $100 for a ripped jean. Now this, no,
ripped jeans are expensive.
No. This is gonna blow your mind. Are you ready for this?
I'm so ready. When
I was a kid, it was only one color jeans you could buy, which was dark blue.
No.
Listen. And you would wear them, and you'd go out. And that's why, like in the 80s, everyone wore like scuffy clothes. And the object was that you worked your jeans so they would become light blue, because you would go out and you'd rub dirt on it, and you would like literally like rub your jeans and like wash them, because you would want to wash them 100 times to get that like heavy blue out. And then what happened was when we were in 6th grade, they came out with acid wash jeans and ripped jeans. And I remember... What's that?
She's just like scooting that way.
I'm sorry. I remember that parents were going crazy because they were like, we're not paying for these, just buy blue jeans. And we wanted white or like the light colored jeans instead of the dark. And I remember my parents went through a period of time like, you wear jeans all the time, just ride on them, wait till they wear down a little bit and you'll get the blue that you like. And it's like, yeah, but by the time you got there,
they don't fit no
more.
Or
they don't fit anymore, they don't whatever, or they get rips, and then your parents be like, oh, this is the outside jeans, you can't wear these anymore, because that's how it was. Yeah. And I remember that really hardcore. And then the big thing was bandanas tied on your legs. And I remember Spud McKenzie. Do you remember Spud? No, it was Bud Light. And they came out with this dog. But they came out with T-shirts with all these things. And they told us we couldn't wear them because it was promoting beer. But we just loved this dog. Mm-hmm. And it was like this big thing. And And it started that whole thing, which started other ones later on, because I'm sure everybody's got a story of like, oh, we used to wear this, and then. But I remember when those ripped jeans, and I remember being a big deal because I remember going and getting jeans and hated it. Oh God, I hated it because I'd be like the darkest blue, like you just like
what do you wear with a dark blue jean?
Well, actually, I see tons of girls wearing dark blue jeans now. Like, like those, like, and I would go, oh, I remember when jeans were, like, you didn't pick. You literally had, like,
your
3,
size.
Yeah, like, it was your size, and there were no different cuts. Mm-hmm. It was like jeans. It was like just jeans. Like, I don't think jeans were made for working, not for like, 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 oh, I'm going out tonight, better put my good jeans on. Like, there was none of that. And I remember being a kid and being like that and being like, and now I see things of like $100 for like, from the top of your like crotch all the way down to your leg is all ripped. And I'm like, so we're paying $100 for like just outline of jeans.
My favorite thing is to wear jeans at the salon and all the old ladies be like, if I wore those, my mom would kill me. I'm like, yeah, well, now I pay extra to wear
I know. It's weird because it's some of those things is like, I remember, oh God, I remember this girl got in so much trouble in school because her mom came in because she was so mad. She had come in and she had I'm trying to think how. There's a certain way that if you take your blue jeans and you put certain things into the wash with it, it would make it lighter. And she had done it so it was like a real light blue, like the blue that we see now, which would probably be dark blue to us now compared to what dark it was back then. Yeah. You know what I mean? It'd be like, oh, those are kind of dark because it'd be kind of more blue color, not that black, like blue. But she had done that, and then she had taken her scissors and cut it and then ripped them. And her mom came in and found, because she had found like the pieces. I remember being in middle school and this mother just walked right in, because this is before all the craziness that's going on. He walked right into the class and grabbed her, and she's like, I'm her mother, here. I was like, I need to talk to my daughter. And she's like, yeah, I didn't pay 100 like some odd whatever for your jeans for you to wash them and take them. I mean, we could hear her in the other room, and all of us were just like, our heads were like looking toward the door. And then every time she would look, all of us were like, like the teacher wasn't even talking to her. She was just like, we were just dead silent because all we could hear, because remember the middle school? Remember the Portsmouth Middle School? Yeah. That echoes. If you get a loud mom, it echoes. And this mom destroyed her. Be like, what kind of girl are you to show off your legs and jeans? Jeans are supposed to cover you. And it was and then you think about it, and you just think about it now. She's probably a grandmother now going like, oh, that was the least of my problems. Like, a ripped jean on your knee. Because we're talking about, that's how it used to be, on your knee. Yeah. We didn't have it all the way up. We had it just on our knee, or maybe a second one if one appeared, if that makes sense. Oh, my gosh. So I totally went on a tangent. Sorry.
Yeah, that was a long tangent. It's cool.
We were just chilling with it.
Chilling, though.
I know, just talking. It was just like, if any guys remember stuff, or, pinching, or
how many dreams you want?
You want dreams? Because the problem was we weren't getting a lot of dream talk, so let's go with conversation. She's like,
this one stands out to me. Or the one that stands out to me is Peter Pan dream I had ever since I was 7 or 8. It reoccurs maybe once a year. I'm in my backyard staring at the stars. To my right is a small jacuzzi. I notice a green blob flying out of the sky. I panic, of course, but then I realize it's actually just an obese Peter Pan. He's...
Listen, I told him I only come once a year. Jesus.
Oh, no. He's screaming to move out of the way. Apparently, I know him personally. He falls and splats right into my jacuzzi. The rest of the dream is...
If it's him in the jacuzzi, I'm out.
The rest of the dream is my attempt to pull him out because he's so large that he's stuck in there.
That's what happens with Peter Pan. Hard to pull out. Damn, Peter.
No.
She's like, oh, it happens.
Oh, no.
I don't know what to say to that one because literally right now, if you watch that Chip and Dale movie, the bad guy, which they've already shown, just so I'm not ruining is Fat Peter Pan.
Oh, it is.
Fat Peter
My sister was watching it the other day.
Yeah.
I was like, "What are we watching?"
Yeah, it's because it's
like Peter Pan is middle aged.
Yeah, he's middle aged. Yeah, it's like the Chip and Dale movie is basically a new version of the rabbit movie?
Who Framed
Roger Rabbit? Because it's like half live, half cartoon,
like half
and it's like it's
CGI.
Cartoons of everything. And basically, it shows Chip and Dale's were actors, and then we got just like.
I can go watch.
Right? Yeah. No. But it's really good. No, I kind of want to explain it because I actually thought it was like a reboot. We can't. I thought it was going to be a reboot of Chip and because I watched Chip and Dale. I watched all those afternoons, Disney afternoon. But I was like, oh yeah. And then when I was watching, I was like, no, that's not what I thought. And not that it was bad, but it was just like, I thought it was going to be like a reboot of like Chip and Dale movie of them, but they're actors and their voices aren't the same, and they talk about how they get the chipmunk voices and stuff. And now I'm just like, it was really cute though. It was worth it. I saw it twice.
Okay. Throwing it out there.
No, the boss knows what I'm talking about. And we were joking because on Monday I had told her, I said, I watched that Chip and Dale. It was kind of cute. It was really cute. But it was not exactly what I thought it was cute. So on the weekend, she's like, I want to watch Chip and Dale. I heard it's good. She goes, yeah. And she goes, I heard this and this. I went, okay. So we watched it again at the end. I was like, oh, look, Dumbo, like joking around, right? She goes, how do you know that? And I was like, I literally told you on Monday I watched it. She's like, you watched it for a second time? I'm like, this whole time you didn't know this? She's like, no, I thought you were just making comments during the movie.
Oh my goodness, that's so good.
Shannon.
Poor boss. It was like we had a crazy week, so it was one of those things that how you just don't, you hear it and then you just kind of like, it's like that commercial that I see. Hey, did you hear about the T-shirt? Oh yeah. And then he's like about his arms, and then he goes like this, and then he's in a T-shirt, and then the guy's like, oh, I have this fat gut. Oh, I've heard about this T-shirt thing, and it's like him. So the first guy's telling the second guy, and now the second guy's telling the first guy about like the commercial, and you're like, wait a minute, what now? He just told you. Why are you telling him? And he's like, oh, I didn't know about these T-shirts. Right. And you're like, yeah, he did, because you just told him. I'm like, it's supposed to be a cute little
Probably funny if you watch it.
Yeah. Jesse, screw off.
Oh.
I'm out.
You just had to be
Gotta go.
Time's up, bitches. I'm out.
Alright, we'll do one more.
Okay.
One time I had a dream that I was a plastic dial on an old air conditioner inside a camper trailer. People kept turning me on too forcefully.
They kept turning me to 11.
Too forcefully, and I thought to myself,
too
you're
forcefully?
gonna break me.
Oh my. This doesn't sound like this is appropriate.
Of course, my worst fear comes true, and I get broken as somebody turned me to the coldest setting. Rather than mourn for myself, all I could think...
That felt good.
All I could think before I woke up was, well, shit, I hope you enjoy your electric bill next month, buddy.
Sure. That's what they were thinking.
Oh,
the whole time's a little harder. It's like 1 to 3, 1 to 4, 1 to 5. Oh, he's going to 11. Snap! I saw Jesus.
Too far.
Jesus. All right.
I'd like to thank Brian for showing up and enjoying our night. Oh,
Thanks for coming on a whim.
Yeah.
Who's whim?
What?
Who's whim?
Thanks for coming on.
I was so confused.
I didn't think I need to refresh that first part, but
Right. Needed to happen.
needed to happen.
Oh, I just needed a little help with that one.
That's the jokes that never stop giving.
Need a little help with that one.
Hey, he's gay.
So I guess so was mine.
So is she.
All right, I really do appreciate you came and visit, and you're always welcome.
I have a blast every time.
I know you do laugh really hard. You laugh way harder than you need to. And I'd like to thank the Goofy Geek Boutique for sponsoring us, which will probably lose our sponsor if we keep going the way we're going, but it's worth it because we're having fun, especially when no one watches us. Right. I like to say that we're live on the Goofy Geek at 7 on Thursdays, and then on Tuesdays we're on YouTube.
Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, hit that bell.
Please like, comment, watch. Even if it's, I'm at a point where I even want to throw some hate mail up there. Go ahead.
Give us something.
Give us something. Know that
is good press.
Yeah. Something. You guys can always message the page, or I thought about maybe having some people, if a fan really wants to, we can set up that we can have them just, you won't be seen, but you can be actually heard if you guys want to be our guest, if you will.
Yes.
That's kind of traumatic for me.
Sorry.
No, you're already here. You're already here, so you don't have to worry about being on the thing, but I know what you meant. That was a double joke. So if you are interested in that, just please message the Goofy Geek page or message my page, which is Niles Perry, if you want to harass me. I'm on a tricycle wearing a propeller hat if you really want to make sure it's the right.
Currently. That's what
Currently,
I am. I'm on right now. I'm on a tricycle with a propeller hat on.
That's what I'm saying.
Thank you so much. Have a good night, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.